This is the second, and this is the tallest. So we're going Florida and Washington, D.C., just like you have it. So take your pillow, your bolster, and prop it up. It doesn't have to be just like that. It may not touch the back one, and that's fine. And then we're going to take our blanket, spread it out. Like that. And we're going to roll it. Did we do this before? No. Okay. We're going to roll it as tiny and tight as you can. And come into butterfly pose, Supta Katasana. That's what it's called. And then take this blanket and put it on top of your feet, going over your ankles. Yep. And then pull the sides down behind you. So it's like literally holding your legs up for you. And then go ahead and find a spot where you can kind of nestle in and there's no movement, but you're comfortable, what it might be. This is a very restorative pose. It kind of eases us into opening up the hips, slowly, gently, and letting our bodies know that we do care, we're going to be kind. So maybe you start to bring your attention to closing your eyes or softening your gaze. One great thing about this building is when it rains, you can kind of hear the water trickling through the pipes. So maybe you zone in on that, or the cars passing by. And you can either have one hand over the belly, one hand in the area of the heart, or you can take up space, letting gravity do its job and your shoulders just splaying open wide. We're still just focusing on the closing of the eyes. We'll move into the breath next. Shut this door. Maybe you start to notice where you're breathing from. Are your breaths quick, slow, shallow? Are you able to inhale into the belly? Does that feel natural or unnatural? So for the next 3 breaths, we're going to inhale and watch our belly expand and fill full of air. And on our exhale, just fall right out of the mouth. Inhaling and expanding the belly. And exhale. Let the breath just fall out of the mouth. And if at any point you need to adjust yourself, move up or down or whatever, you feel free to do that. You don't have to stay stuck in an uncomfortable position. Inhaling and expanding the belly. Exhale, let it all go out of the mouth. And from here on out, can you focus on making your exhale longer than the last one? We want to tap into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the fight or flight response. And by extending those exhales, we can really reach in and relax. Maybe you even remove the tongue from the roof of the mouth. If throughout the day you find that you have your tongue glued to the roof of your mouth, you are in flight mode. You are ready to run from a lion, you are ready to run from a bear, and usually in our everyday life, there is no such thing chasing us. So I've been practicing a lot lately, just removing the tongue from the roof of the mouth. Even if I am in a stressful situation, it's just a signal to the brain saying we are okay, nothing's after us, it's fine. Syncing up with your breath and still noticing and paying attention, but not judging. And very slowly in the next couple breaths, take a picture. Start to push your knees slowly in towards each other and then walk the feet out towards the mat. So basically the exact opposite of where we just were. You can move the blanket to the side if you want, or you can put it across your belly, whatever you're feeling right now. So now we are in easy rest pose. Kind of moving the hips inward in the opposite direction, just letting gravity do its job. And sticking with the breath here. So we're going to take 3 inhales into the belly. And you can let the exhale spill out of the mouth. And maybe while we're here in this position, you can think of one thing that you came here with that you would like to leave here. Even if you think it's not possible to leave here without that stressor or without that thing nagging you in the back of your mind, you can still pretend. Still try to leave it here on the mat and not take it with you. So on your inhale, filling your belly full of air, and on your exhale, pushing out that thing you want to leave here on the mat. Maybe even imagining it just spilling out of the mouth, running down the chest, running down the shoulders, onto the mat, onto the floor. And if that means that your mouth has to stay a little bit open as you exhale and breathe, it's fine. Two more full inhales and extended exhales. And sometimes I like to play with inhaling as long and as much as I can, and then exhaling so much that my stomach feels completely empty, my lungs feel emptied out of air, so that my next inhale just automatically follows behind it. And in the next breath or so, maybe you start to roll over onto one side, finding yourself in the fetal pose. You can put a blanket between the knees, Rest that head. Either you can pull your pillow around and rest it on the pillow, or you can rest your head onto your arm. Sticking with your breath here, feeling the belly expand across the floor. Exhaling and letting it all just kind of fall right out of your mouth, almost as if your stressors, your worries were like the drool that just let it plop out, fall out. And maybe you don't have any stressors or anything you need to let go of today. That's rare, but okay. That's totally fine. Just stick with the breath. And maybe you're able to look out over the side of your arm, and maybe you imagine a pond, a pool, a lake, anything where you can see your reflection. So maybe not a lake. And just picture your face. And I like to choose the age that I can remember my first memory, so maybe 6. I try to imagine a 6-year-old me, and sometimes it takes a minute. And then once I imagine her, I just look into her eyes for a moment. And I let her know that life is hard, but we are okay. Life is not going to be easy, but we make it. And then I let one huge exhale go. And slowly and with as much ease as possible, push back up. And we'll find ourselves in a comfortable seat. You can push the pillows to the side, you can leave them there. We're going to inhale and lift our arms above our head. And then we're going to exhale and bring our neck into it, chin to chest, lower the fingertips to the mat. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the chin, touch the fingertips above the head. Exhale, chin to chest, lower the fingertips. You can go at your own pace. Your breath may not sync up with mine, and that's totally fine. We're going to do this 5 more times. You can have the eyes closed or open. You may feel a little burn in the shoulders too, so this is also an easy way to build a little bit of strength and mobility into the shoulders. And on your 5th exhale, only drop that right arm down, slide it out, and send the left arm up and over the right side of the body. You should feel a pretty good stretch in that left side. And you can look down at your right forearm or look up. Breathing into the left side body, Filling the belly full of air, and on the exhale, letting it all go, extending the exhale longer than the last one. And then on your next breath, we're going to walk all the way through center very slowly, dropping that left arm down when you get to the other side, and then bringing the right arm over like a rainbow. And breathing into the right side body for 3 full rounds of breath. And on your third exhale, slowly walk your hands through center. And then I like to do like basically a cat-cow here. So inhaling and like pulling my fingertips towards my knees, but not like energetically, and looking up. And then on the exhale, rounding chin to chest. And we'll do that 2 more times. So inhaling, looking up, chest towards the sky. And then exhale, rounding in. 1 more time. Inhale. And then exhale, chin to chest. Maybe even dropping the full weight of the head. And then we're going to walk our hands out as far as we can. And start to melt the heart and the forehead towards the mat. If you're feeling this in your right hip, that is the right place. You may be feeling this in other places, and that's totally fine too, as long as there's no pain. But low-level discomfort is welcomed. So maybe you bring your palms together and bring your namaste hands behind the head. I call this the namaste shark fin, to get a deeper stretch in the upper back, shoulder area. And if this seems impossible or you need more space, you can take your block and rest your forehead on your block, or double up your blanket. Sticking with the breath, don't hold the breath here. On your next exhale, we're going to lower the hands, come back up onto the fingertips, engage the core slightly, walk our hands back towards our legs, and we're going to switch legs. So the awkward leg on top is probably what it'll be, the one that feels funny kind of. So we're going to inhale, look up, fingertips to touch, and then exhale, chin to chest, fingertips to the mat. Inhale, look up, fingertips to touch, exhale, fingertips to mat. 1 more time. Inhale, look up, exhale, chin to chest. And we're going to slide the left arm over, bringing the right arm up, just like we did before, with the opposite leg on top. And you may feel like you have less space. Maybe you're getting more of a stretch. Take 2 full rounds of breath. And then we're slowly going to walk through center, being mindful of the low back. Landing that right forearm down if that's accessible for you, and then bringing that left arm up and over. I really feel this in my left hip, so it probably means it's pretty tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flex and point my toes towards my shin so that I can protect that knee. 2 full rounds of breath here. And then on your next exhale, we're slowly going to walk back through center and then walk our hands out. Feeling that hip stretch on the other side. And then if, like here, I'm not able to really get my head all the way to the mat yet, so I'm going to stack my pillows or my blanket. And breathe into the left hip. And if you want to take your Namaste shark fin, grounding down into the elbows and bringing the palms behind the head. Sometimes it takes a couple intentional exhales to be able to create enough space in the muscle to get deeper into the stretch. Two more full rounds of breath, inhaling and filling your belly full of air. Exhaling, letting it all go. Leaving it here on the mat. And on your last exhale, slowly come back up onto the fingertips and then walk the hands in towards the legs as gently and easily as you can. And we will find our way to our tabletop. I'll meet you there. Get there as easily and gently as you can. And from here, I'm just going to start to come into hip circles. I'm not going into a cat-cow or anything. I'm just going to try to get some movement in the hips. We did a lot of hip stuff already, even though it didn't seem super intense. It still was very heavy in the hips. Maybe walk your hands over to the right a little bit and work out some circles here. And then walking your hands over to the left, seeing what it feels like on the other side. Sticking with your breath no matter what. And then walking your hands back, coming into puppy pose. So scoot, the knees can be as wide as the mat and the feet can be in towards each other. And then just stick the booty up in the air, melt the heart towards the mat. And then this is another good place for that Namaste shark fin. If you want to inch your elbows out as far as they will go, bringing the palms together and sending them behind the head. Inhaling and expanding the belly. Exhaling and letting it all go. If you want to let out a dramatic sigh, that is super welcomed. Two more full rounds of breath here in puppy pose. And on your last exhale, slowly start to come forward and back to tabletop. And from here, we're going to come into a supported side plank. So what that looks like is you take that left knee and the left foot, you pick it up and you flop that leg out to the side. So it's going to feel awkward. Yep, just like that. And then take the right leg out with it. Yep, and you're just going to hold up here. 3 full breaths. And on that third breath, come back through center, drop that right knee, and bring the right arm, threading the needle underneath the left. So like a puppy pose, but with a shoulder stretch. And you really want to send your exhales to the upper back area, creating a little bit more space. One more full round of breath. And on your next exhale, we're slowly going to come out, come back to our tabletop, and we're going to take our side plank on the other side. So take the legs out like this. And it's almost like I imagine I'm pulling a bow and arrow. So I literally will pull it all the way up my arm to get as straight of a line as I can, to really open that chest, open the shoulders. Maybe you try to look. You can also, the more you send that left arm over, the more of a stretch you're going to feel. 2 full rounds of breath here. And on that last exhale, come all the way back down to tabletop, taking that left arm out and threading the needle underneath the other side. Feeling the breath fighting its way through all those tight places. Relax where you can. Remove the tongue from the roof of the mouth. And on your next exhale, push back up as slowly and like you love yourself, back to a tabletop position. And from here, we are going to push up to 1 downward facing dog, but we're going to go super, super slow. And we're slowly going to walk our dog out, just getting a gentle stretch in the calves and in the legs. And whenever you're finished walking out the dog, I want you to let the full weight of your head rest between the shoulders. So feel how heavy your head is. And it may take some shaking and some nodding and some like releasing of the shoulders. But once you feel it, you'll know. And breathe into that right there. And then while we have the full weight of the head just dangling between our arms, we're going to come back to that stressor, that problem, that annoying thought, the obsessive thought. And we're just going to let it roll all the way off of our backs, off of the top of our head. Let it drip down. And then even if you want to shake it, shake that head a little bit more to really just let it go. And then on your next inhale, you're going to take your hands and you're going to walk them slowly back to your feet. And we're going to stand here in a forward fold, but we're going to bend the knees so much that we're resting our chest on top of our thighs. And we're going to take our hands and we're going to slide them underneath our feet. So I like to basically put as much pressure as I can on my hands. It feels so good. We do so much with our hands. And then you can even press your fingers into your feet. You can find movement or stillness. You can sway back and forth. So we've got the full weight of the head between the shoulders, and we've got the full weight of the body resting onto our hands. But we're still breathing. And on your next exhale, we're going to slide the hands out, plant them, and then find a flat back position. And then we're going to exhale back to our forward fold, walk ourselves out to a high plank. And we're going to lower our knees all the way down. And then we're going to take our hands and we're going to paint them like we have two paint brushes, and we're going to bring them down the length of the mat to come into our own little love cave here in child's pose. Still breathing. And on your next inhale, as you slowly start to engage the core and rise back up, bring the hands on top of, bring the arms forward with the palms face down, and come back into tabletop, and then sliding the legs down all the way to the belly. Now you can rest your cheek on either side, but we're going to windshield wiper the legs here, back and forth. And then we're going to come onto the right cheek, send the right arm out to the side, and then we're going to push our left leg up and over behind our body for one more shoulder stretch. Two more full rounds of breath. And then on your next exhale, come all the way back through center. Sending the left arm out, resting your head on the left cheek. Planting the right palm and letting it help you send that right leg over the back of your body, like that. It's hard. Yeah, so sit. Yep, there you go. Yep. Do you feel it in your shoulder? a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to take 3 full rounds of breath and sending our exhales to our shoulder. And then on your last exhale, come back through center, back to the belly. Windshield wiper those legs. And then we're going to push ourselves back up and we're going to end the practice the way we started. So we're going to make our little skyscraper here. We've got our rolled up blanket still. And if you need to like roll it up more, that's fine. And then once you get settled, I'm going to cover you up with the other blanket. And I'm going to play like a meditation song thing. So just find a spot where you are comfortable, that you could stay for about, 5 minutes, 5 to 6 minutes. And of course you can adjust at any time.